If I understand what you're saying, it's that with methods like these, you can get stronger, more athletic without experiencing muscle, well, hypertrophy, larger muscles, if you will. Basically, maximize the weight and the size that you have. Is that the crux of it?
Yes, yes, that is the crux of it. So basically, if you understand autonomy, the muscles are actually compartmentalized by fascia. So it's not really like a muscle. It works against the muscle. That was a very old theory on muscle contraction, which is the sliding filament theory. In that theory, it explains how muscle fibers slide against muscle fiber, thereby generating force. But the more recent studies basically disputed that heavily because what they realize is that the force transmission, force generation is not just along the myosin axis, it's actually everywhere in all directions. The only thing that can make that possible is fascia, because fascia permeates everywhere in the body, multiple layers, three big layers, wrapping around your muscle, inside of your muscle, wrapping around the tissue of the tendon and ligaments and everything else, going to directly to your brain. Your brain is wrapped by fascia tissue as well. I think historically, people paid very little attention to fascia is because they wanted to study the muscle. So when they do the dissection, they throw out the yellowish content, which is really fascia. So they didn't really understand how that played a significant role in how the movement is executed. For example, when you do a leg kick or a punch. But now people are begin to understand that okay, there is something else at play because, for example, all the elite level athletes, when they start to display their talent, so-called talent, they are really in their teenage years where their muscle hypertrophy, their muscle maturation is way beyond normal adult. So if you're saying your muscle is what determines your performance level, then it should never be a teenager outperforming you because teenager has no muscle mass.
Right. And this is interesting because I think everybody who trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, knows that one skinny little guy on the mat who just seems a lot stronger than he should be for his size. And my question for you, I don't know if you know any just skinny, wiry guys that seem abnormally strong. Would that be because of fascia strength?
Very possibly, because fascia strength is very closely related to neurological strength, meaning that they are able to tap into more muscle fibers through fascial driven movement. And they're able to keep their muscle almost in a isometric state. And also, as probably people who study autonomy understand, there is around the joints of the human body, there's a organ called the Golgi tendon organ, which is a mechanism that will actually measures the muscle contraction. So if the muscle contraction is too great, it will shut it down automatically to protect your body. So with such a mechanism in place, how do you actually generate a large amount of force? The only possible explanation is by going through fascia, which bypasses that check system.
All right.